to sing, you learn to play. Why don't the businessmen ever learn to pay? That's show business. Show business. Show business. Show business. Show business. That's the way it goes.
Crazy people, crazy people, crazy people like me go crazy old people like you. Goofy people, daffy people like me go crazy over things you do. When we are underneath the moon above, you've got me acting just like the loonies. Must be love, sweet love. Crazy people, crazy people, crazy people like me go crazy on people like you. Crazy people like you. Crazy people like the things you do when we are under the moon above. You got me acting just like a loon. It must be love. Crazy people like you.
In Devon. The whole school that I was going to, time, we all went to the village. I stayed there till I was 9 because when I was down there, they bombed Plymouth and I was living not very far from Plymouth, and my mother decided that it was getting too dangerous. We used to see the German planes go over the village towards Plymouth.
My experience of the Blitz on London relates to a period in 1940, the early days of 1940, and the early days of the Blitz. And I lived in Chiswick in West London, and twice we suffered as a result of bombing. The first house, a bomb landed about 50 yards away from the house in which we lived. Which rendered the house itself uninhabitable. We moved to the other side of Chiswick, quite close to Chiswick Works.
My sisters, they were there because they worked in factories. Because if you didn't work in the factory, you had to go into the forces, and my sisters didn't want to go into the forces, so they used to do war work.
Chiswick Works was the place where the London buses in those days was built, but of course in those days this had been turned over to being used to build army vehicles. And within a week, in point of fact, of our moving to this house, a bomb dropped into the front of the house, to outside the front of the house, and pretty much everything we had on board was destroyed. But we, like all Londoners, we were involved for about 6 months of continuous bombing, and this was principally at night.
Yeah, they were frightening days, but having said that, everybody worked together as a team. because we knew very well that one minute you were alive and the next minute you could be dead, so everybody was much more happier together in those days.
September the 3rd, 1939, and I was 7 and my brother was 6 at that time.
Tomorrow, just you wait and see. I'll never forget the people I met, braving
During
those
those days,
angry
we were all worried. Well, we were, because we were too young.
I remember well as the shadows fell, the light of hope.
But during that time, the adults made sure that we all had gas masks, which you put over in case the enemy threw bombs that were filled with gas, etc. And they were in square cardboard boxes, which we always had to carry round our neck. Anyway, when we got to the evacuation place, which was Northampton, we were all put into a hall, and we just waited for people to come up and offer to take us to their houses. And as my brother and I were together, I suppose you'd call them social service people now, they insisted that we were together because we were so young.
The dreams we dream when we're awake, the curtain of night will part.
Anyway, we went to this place in Northampton. We were there for a few years. The lady that took us in, after a while, she couldn't manage because she was getting on with it, So from there, we were placed into another house, whereas during that time, this person already had young children. And I, being the oldest, I think I was about 9 then, I had to look after them.
With 1,000 little stars, we can decorate the ceiling with an optimistic feeling. We can build a little.
Well, this person and her husband went on drinking in the night, so consequently, next day when I got to school, I'd be falling asleep because I'd been awake looking after all the other children. Just near us there was a bakery, it was called Neville's Bakery, and they were asking for volunteers who would work there in the evenings because the men had gone to war, and bread was one of the main things that we needed during the war. Everything else was rationed, but bread wasn't, funny enough. And I stayed there for perhaps a year.
Rationing for rationing was and it used to like a bit of sugar. Well, my mum, she gave up. Her sisters gave up their sugar ration. So because my mum would, as a lot of us, they used to give their ration sugar to us, and you used to have a little tiny bit of butter, cheese.
about 18, and then you had to register for war work, meaning either you had to go into the forces or you had to go and work in a factory making armaments and things like that. And I worked for a company that made, I think they were called condensers for Navy boats and things, for the Navy, really. It was like, it wasn't of any consequence, but it was like, in the end it was made up into like switches, like for control of various sort of things that would be in the ship.
In other arms he tried to forget his fond embrace, and every night another one makes a bid for his place. It's a game of just pretending.
It was a very difficult position for people. It was a difficult time. We didn't in actual fact suffer any casualties as a family, fortunately. But we did know people who did lose, members of the family lost lives. But by and large, we were very fortunate. We lost possessions, we lost an awful lot of possessions. Life itself was very difficult because the bombing would start at dusk and could continue through until the very early hours of the morning. And the main problem, of course, was sleep deprivation. Because while this was going on, there was anti-aircraft fire, there was reports of the aircraft, there were bombs dropping, people lost sleep, and of course then, within a couple of hours, they'd got to go back to work again. Other ancillary noises too, ambulances, fire engines, all this sort of business, everything associated with the actual carnage that was going on. That is a very brief, it's a thumbnail sketch really of what was going on at that time.
One night, I said to my mother, "Oh, what's all that red in the sky?" And we could see from Reading, London burning. It was just like a big red glow in the sky. That was all the things on fire. The only time I remember the raid in the town was 2 or 3 places were bombed, and I was still at school then, and we were sent home early because of the raid. And my friend and I were going down the road, and there was 2 or 3 shops there. Well, this plane we see up in the sky, it come down, and as it come nearer, it started, it was firing. Firing the guns. And we just dived into a shop doorway until it had gone past. Then we ran all the way home. And I remember my eldest, Doris, coming down the road and, she's quick getting doors. And then when my father came home at night, he looked round, he said, thank God we're all alive. So other than that, it's just having, reading about all the other things.
I can't tell you a lot about the war really, because being I was only a child, they all had to be back, housed out with all different people. And I was housed with this lady, with another girl who was staying there. She was from another place in London. And she stayed there a long time with me, so she went to the same school when we were down there. It was only a little school. And, we used to go down to the farm and get the milk in the morning, and it was lovely, really.
I see somehow all the girls that I knew, and I'm wondering who can be kissing them now. Down through memory lane, I love to look at the little blue skies and the little white lies in my little red book. But there's one girl I had a yen for back in 1933. That's the one I'd go again for. And if she came back to me, everybody but her I'd overlook. I'd have only one flame, there'd be only one name in my little red book.
I got that all on film, that video. We can't put that in the